Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Labs, where we break down the latest research into what it really means for you. Ever wonder why we tend to follow the crowd? Or why a celebrity endorsement can suddenly make a random product seem like the next big thing? We see this human tendency all the time, but have you ever wondered when that starts? Do children actually look at someone imitating another person and think, wow, that person they are copying must be an expert? It is a fascinating question because as adults, we naturally assume that if a lot of people are doing something or if a leader is doing something, there is probably a good reason for it. We assume that status and expertise go hand in hand with being imitated. To figure out if kids think the same way, researchers set up 3 clever experiments with over 200 children between the ages of 4 and 7. They wanted to see if kids would treat an imitated person like a secret source of knowledge. In the first 2 parts of the study, the team used animated shapes and cartoon characters. They showed the kids small stories where one character was imitated by observers and another one was not. Then, they asked the children which character they would trust to label a new, unfamiliar object. If the kids thought the imitated character was an expert, they should have been more likely to ask them for the name of the object. But the results were kind of a dud. Whether it was one imitator or several, the children did not really care. They treated both characters about the same. It is a bit like when you see a commercial with animated characters, you might not feel as influenced as you would by a real person you trust. This is where things got interesting. When the researchers switched from cartoons to real people in the final experiment, everything changed. Suddenly, the kids started to pay attention. They were significantly more likely to trust the information given by the person who had been imitated. This tells us that context matters a huge amount. Kids are perceptive. They know the difference between a cartoon and a real human interaction. And they are much more likely to use social clues like imitation to find an expert when they are dealing with real people in the real world. So, what does this actually mean for us in our daily lives? It suggests that even by the age of 4, children are not just watching the world. They are constantly decoding it. They are trying to figure out who has the knowledge and who has the influence. If you see a group of people following someone or copying their style, your brain is doing the same kind of math that these kids were doing. You are essentially asking, who is the expert here? Who should I listen to? The study also touched on the idea that some things are more socially meaningful than others. For example, when they looked at fashion versus just picking toys, they found that when it comes to social signals like clothing, kids are even more clued in to who is being imitated. Now, this study is not perfect. It is just the beginning of understanding how we learn socially. One thing they could not fully answer is why exactly some things like fashion choices seem to signal expertise more than picking out a toy. Maybe we should treat fashion as a social marker that tells us who belongs and who knows what is cool. Also, the study really makes you think about the power of our own behavior. If you are a parent or a teacher, remember that kids are watching who you imitate. If you show respect and copy the good habits of others, children are likely picking up on those social cues and learning who is worth listening to. I love this research because it reminds us how much of our learning is social. We are not just blank slates soaking up facts. We are social detectives constantly scanning the room to see who everyone else is watching. What about you? Think about the last time you followed a trend or listened to someone just because everyone else was. Was it really expertise, or were you just catching a social signal? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mind of a child, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to RUBIN'S Labs. We are always digging for the next big insight into human behavior. Until next time, stay curious.